Hi, welcome to the Milkweeds and Roses garden. I'm Lori, your Zone 5 gardener. You know, we go to so much work to make things look nice. Wouldn't it be great if we didn't have to watch it all disappear when winter comes and the snow arrives? Well, sometimes you can plant up a little piece of heaven and bring it inside for the winter. Today we're going to plant up some succulents that we can bring inside for the winter. All you need are a couple of containers, some good coarse soil that drains well, and some succulents. This is Aeonium kiwi. Okay, this one might be kind of nice in here. It'll seem to match. I don't know though. Although sometimes too matchy-matchy is not a good thing. So we're going to put kiwi in the brown pot and Big Mama in this one. Now again, there's that drainage hole, which you want. Now sometimes you want to put some sort of a slight block here over this drainage hole. What happens, or can happen, is you end up with soil escaping every time you water. It'll have to sit on a saucer or a protective surface when I bring this inside, okay? But I don't want water pooling up from the bottom. So we're trying these for the first time, some of these clay pebbles. I'm going to get a stone here to put in the back, a flat rock. Okay. You go put a little stone, okay, in the bottom. This just helps with drainage, nothing else. It's not about nutrients or anything else. Okay, so these are clay pebbles. So light expanded clay. And this is just some cactus and succulent soil mix that my local garden store had. Okay. So you'll notice this has, see these little white pebbles? This is perlite, which crumbles easily, but it's meant to promote drainage and aeration. Okay, because these plants don't like to have thick clay soil. All right? They like a lot of room to breathe. And another interesting thing, I don't know if it's a wives' tale or not, but I was told to plant succulents before 2 p.m. That used to be just standard wisdom. I don't know why. And that's just the way it is. Now you see, there are some fine roots throughout, but it could use some, we could use a little bit of time to grow some of these roots. They don't have real deep roots, you'll notice. Okay, loosen this up. Whoop, this just fell right away. Ah, look at that. Good heavens. Okay. I'm going to put this a little bit off to the side and put some decorative things around it to just kind of help it sit in the container a little bit better. And I've got some hen and chicks I'd like to harvest and put around there to kind of add a little more visual interest than just this. It is scheduled to rain today here in Iowa. In fact, some storms are in the forecast. It's an overcast day. Well, I guess not just overcast. There's a lot of smoke these days from the Canadian wildfires. So I guess the end result is it's still plenty overcast. Okay, and that's why I'm also sniffling a lot. You probably noticed that. I'm not sick, it's just the smoke in the air. All right. That's another dead leaf. We'll take that off. Now, I like to dress this with a type of rock or something to just kind of make it a little more solid. Also, to make sure that it doesn't develop some black fly if the soil gets damp. Okay, because that can be a problem for any plant, inside or out, by the way. But I notice they tend to happen to some of my plants when I bring them in for the winter. Okay, so I'll finish this off with a little layer of rock. Okay,
There you go. It's just some decorative polished rock. Just super pretty, I thought. I got it on Amazon, actually. So, okay, I'll just sprinkle this around. All right. Now, I'm not going to water this like I would all other plants that I newly plant. Just pressing it down to make sure that I've got all the air pockets are gone. Okay, I'm just going to set this outside here on my ledge to keep it out of the wind, because it is a little top heavy. They like to be dry, but this soil even has some moisture in it, and it was watered just the day before. Okay, I think it's pretty good practice to make sure that all the plants, no matter what you're planting, are hydrated at least the day before you plant them. Okay, we'll set this one aside. Now let's take a look at this one. This guy's a little top heavy too. Okay, we need a rock or a flat stone to kind of cover soil leakage. Okay, there's a little rock, a little tiny one. Hopefully you can see that. Okay. Just a handful of on the bottom, and then put in our cactus and succulent dirt. And I have to check with your local garden stores for the availability of whatever you would have. All right, make a little pocket. And I'm going to put these two together. All right, they both like the same conditions. So dry, quick draining soil, and they hold their moisture in their leaves. Okay, let's see what we've got here. See what Mr. Kiwi's got going on. It's a fairly narrow pot that he was in. It's pretty dry. Try to plant it, don't plant it any deeper than it was in its own pot. Okay, there's no need to bury the stems or anything like that. It's not like a clematis. All right. It's pretty good. And you don't want soil to go all the way to the lip of the container. Get it almost to the top. All right, so that when you do water it, the water isn't pouring off the top like that. It's actually got time to sink in. All right, let's see what we have here. Okay. A little inspection. It looks to be pretty healthy. It is dry. All of these are pretty dry. Just going to nestle it in right here, and I'm going to put a little decorative something or other right there. Okay, so they've got room to grow. So I'll wait a couple days to water these, and of course if it rains, it's not going to be quite as crucial. Any other plant, make sure you water it as the last step once you plant a container. Okay, because that's to settle. Make sure get rid of the air pockets, keep it hydrated, let the roots go out and try to find the moisture. It's always the name of the game. Okay, what do we got there, bud? All right. And yeah, I'm going to have to clean off this table when I'm done. Your hubby will give me something about it. He'll talk about it because we often eat out here in the summers. But it's a good waste level to plant things, to plant up containers. And at my age and with my back, I'm always looking for something that makes it just a little bit easier on the body. You know what I mean? Okay. What have we got in there? Right? Get it in there, firmed up. Okay. Now these can live a really long time, and they just get more beautiful with age. If they're happy. If they're not, they will certainly let you know. let them settle in here. Okay, come on there, bud. Okay, another spot where I'm gonna have to do some little bit of cleaning there. Okay, there we go. Okay, we'll finish up with some decorative rocks. Oops, that's actually one way to propagate that type of succulent is if the leaves fall off and they're healthy, set them aside, let a little callus form, then you just basically set that on top of the soil in another pot and it will start a new plant. It's pretty crazy how they work. Okay, there we go. A little here. I've also noticed, because I have an awful lot of ground squirrels, we call them squinnies around here, but a lot of ground squirrels that like to dig in pots, and having rocks or something else on the top tends to discourage them from doing so. Okay, pressing it, not too hard, but just firm. And these rocks are decorative rocks on the top. They're pretty, you know. Also serve to help keep the soil in place and reduce possibilities of black fly. Okay, a few over here. All right, there we go. Got that little guy on top. We'll see if he takes. We'll know in a couple days, a couple weeks or so, if he's going to. We'll leave him some room to breathe. Okay, there we go. Now we'll water these. I'll be watching them. If it doesn't rain, I'll need to water these in a couple of days. Okay. So here's where I put them for now. And some of the others, nice little moss rose that I think ants or birds have planted here. And here is Big Mama Aeonium. Okay, that's what we've got so far. In the meantime, thanks for joining me here at Milkweeds and Roses. See you next time.